Hello again. Welcome to I Crave Optics. I'm your host, Jody Schuler, and welcome to downtown Watertown at I Crave Optics, where I'm your host and all things optical here at the store. Tonight we're talking about the topic everybody seems to ask questions about, and that is, why are these glasses, so darn expensive? Well, there's a number of reasons. We're going to cover three tonight. One being simple cost of business, two, the cost of making glasses, and three, a very interesting one that makes the cost higher than it should be, and that of insurance. So we'll cover those three. First, let's cover simple enough the cost of running a business. All businesses have expenses today. You have your building expenses, everything from the rent to the lights to maintenance on your building. Those things have to be paid for somehow. Most offices, most opticals sell eyewear, or they do exams, and you have to have a building to do that in. So those things cost money. You also have employees, the cost of taxes, and on the cost of running a business goes. So you might argue, well, go to online. That way you don't have to have a brick and mortar place anymore, right? Well, even the online vendors are recognizing the value of a brick and mortar. One of the bigger ones in the online world has opened up several of their brick and mortar stores, so that you can go to their store and fix their online purchases. Or go to the store to try them on so they don't have to ship them to your home, because they've recognized the cost of doing that and potentially losing and damaging frames when they ship them to people's homes. There's a plethora of reasons why running a business is expensive. And if you come in and you have to have glasses, you have to go to an optical or take the risk of online. And well, I've already discussed 2 interviews and a couple of videos on what really happens with online glasses, and it's not pretty. So a simple cost of running a business is a reason why things in general are expensive. And that of course makes glasses more expensive than perhaps if you could get something without going to a store. Unfortunately, that's where we are. Then you have the simple cost of making the glasses. A lot of people just say, well, this is a couple pieces of metal, some plastic, it's nothing special, right? Well, if it were just the simple cost of the materials, probably wouldn't be that expensive. But you have to remember, you have to have craftsmen, you have to have people who understand how to make these things, how to design them, how to fabricate, how to make certain frames are really customized, and those are going to cost even more because there's more hands-on processes. And so you've got expenses there. And every company I work with, or any optical store that works with, has essentially a relationship with their lab, with their frame vendors, and each of those companies is another small business. So therefore we go back up to the top. At first, the cost of running a business. Each of those businesses has their costs. And so those costs get turned to us, the stores, and then those costs get turned to you, the customer. It's just a reality of buying anything today. You're buying a TV. If it were just the cost of those materials to buy a TV, it would just be a few dollars perhaps. But yet we buy thousands of dollars worth of TVs. You know, those new flat screen, fancy ones, ultra thin paper screens. Those things are thousands upon thousands of dollars, and there's really nothing there. It's technology. You're paying for the technology. And that is the same with glasses, really. Some glasses are really basic. Some are really simple base metals, nickel, other more low-cost plastics that we call injection molded materials. I don't use any of that cheaper, low-cost, ultra-cheap product here. Even my affordable product is a good quality product. So we're going to try to make sure that your purchase lasts. And those things cost money. And in the end, we're selling, we have to run a business. So many people might think, well, why not, like for labs, for example, why not use robotics? You won't have to have employees, and you can have lower your costs. Even in today's most advanced labs, where they do use robotics, the costs are even higher. The equipment, one typical lane of equipment, we call them lanes of lab equipment, will on average cost around $250,000. And that's just to make the lens. That's not the coating equipment. The list goes on. The amounts of money escalates. And yes, a lab might do maybe 1,500 pairs in a month, and it could probably cover that cost. Probably even more than that in a month, I apologize. Depending on the size of the lab, labs can do a few hundred jobs a week to maybe 1,000 or more a week. And it depends on the size of the lab, the amount of the equipment they have, the amount of automation, how long of a shift they run, how many people are working, on and on and on it goes. Those things cost money. Even in the cheapest scenario, the equipment still costs money. Okay, so we've got cost of running a business, cost of actually making the glasses, the equipment, what it costs to make those frames and lenses, thousands upon thousands of dollars. Simple things, obvious. Sometimes people don't put those into the equation when they're buying glasses, because that's what makes that business run. Last but not least is the insurance factor. Insurance itself is a factor into the cost of your eyewear. Now, why do I say that? How do I say that? How is that possible, you think? Because when you use your insurance, you sometimes might pay a little less. Or do you? That's going to be a whole nother topic. But overall, the simple cost of insurance, what insurance has done is increase the cost of product. It's across the board. No matter where you go in the medical world, whether you use your medical doctor, your pharmacy, equipment, if you're a disease that requires medical equipment, like whatever it may be, insurance has increased the cost. Because I remember, for example, when the first optical plans started to come onto the plan, and we were selling a frame at that store for around $150, we'll say. The insurance, quote unquote insurance, really was just a discount program, took a percentage off. And if you take 25% off of the cost of a frame, that's $150. That's a pretty decent amount of money. That's almost $75. I'm sorry, almost $50. So that just comes right off to $150. So how do stores were scrambling to make up differences? If you had stock in your store that cost you $80 to $90, you were selling it for maybe $150. Maybe it was a $70 or $75 frame that you're selling for $150. You suddenly had to sell it for more so that you could make enough profit to cover the cost. And there's the profit. There's the increase in cost. And now, someone who maybe didn't have that discount plan had to come into that same store and buy without a discount. And so now that $150 frame that they bought maybe a year ago is now a $200 frame or a $225 frame. And costs went up. And they keep going up because of how much insurance is lost. For example, many vision plans today will have a frame allowance where they'll say you have $120, we'll say. Now, of that allowed amount, the store only gets a certain percentage of that. In most cases, I think it's 55% is what the store gets of that 120. So instead of $60, you get, or a little more than half rather, sorry. So how do you make up that? I mean, you just took off $120 and you're only getting 65. How do you make that up? Pretty simple. You increase the cost of good. You continue to raise the price. And that's what we've seen for the last 25 or so years with the cost of glasses. They continue to raise because the continued reimbursement to doctors for exam fees, to owners of optical stores, sometimes they're the doctor too, the low coverage and reimbursement. You have people working, waiting on a customer who has that insurance, and you're not getting paid enough to cover the cost of that employee while they wait on them. And therefore, again, you have an increase in cost, a lowering of quality of service, and a lowering of goods. Number of factors that unfortunately weigh in on the cost of glasses. So what do? How do you survive that? How do you live in the world where glasses are unfortunately somewhat expensive and make do? Well, first of all, you go to a store that doesn't take insurance. They'll take your insurance and get you reimbursement. They'll do what's called an out-of-network billing of paperwork. I do that here at iCrave, and I take care of many people's paperwork for that. And they get money back. They save in the long run because my products are lower cost because I'm not building in the insurance loss into my prices. Every store in this town takes insurance. And trust me, every store has a balance, bump, an increase of cost, retail price, based upon an insurance loss. The other thing you do is perhaps you go to a store like iCrave, like my store, that has package pricing. Going to introduce, we've started working with it a little bit for the past month. We'll make it live, we'll introduce it with this video, our package pricing. You can get a single vision pair of frames starting as low as $199 with an anti-reflective coating, a good quality frame, and a good quality prescription lens and measurements that I do. You will get also, if you have a progressive or no line style of bifocal, also with an anti-reflective coating, that's as low as $379. So a great quality price package for great quality lenses for a good price. Now those prices are competitive with some of the big box stores. And so I'm trying to stay competitive, but also offer a quality product. I know I'm not going to beat the lowest out there. That's okay. But I am the best. Even at those low prices, we offer some of the best products around. So, to recap, cost of running a business, the cost of making the glasses, and the unfortunate cost of doing business with an insurance company increases the cost of glasses to you. Come to iCrave or a store that doesn't take an insurance and try to work a package price. Most places will because they want to save business. They want to help you to come to them and do business with them. At iCrave, we've introduced new quality products, lower cost products to help reduce the overall expense of a pair of glasses. The other reality is when you do the math, that's like $1 a day for a pair of glasses. Is your sight worth $1 a day? That's actually, with exam and everything, it might be a little bit over $1 a day when you have a multifocal prescription. Maybe you're looking at single vision lenses and $1 a day, that's $199. You're way under that. Even with a better lens, you could get below the $1 a day price. In the end, I can help you save money. I can show you what things really should cost, and help you with a really quality product. So, thank you for taking your time to listen to our video, watch this video. We'll be coming back next week. We'll be talking maybe some fashion and what's coming new for the new year, what this new spring summer is going to be bringing. And don't forget, if you're nearby, Friday night, we have our art show here at iCrave Optics. You'll have a wonderful evening with wines and cheeses and some meat platters and a good time. So thank you. Again, if you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Have a great night.